Welcome to Gimpy Gardener. Remember, hit the like button, subscribe, and I hope you enjoy. I decided to do a little garden tour. First one for the year. I am doing some melons in here. Most of them are from Baker Creek. I also plant icicle radishes for my squash that I'm doing in some of these because I've been told that it helps. I have mint going on here. Now, I was also told that mint is crazy evasive, so I put it in a pot. Didn't do anything to it, yet it still lives. And then I planted and did another pallet container. And every now and then I check and see if anything is coming up, which it is not. And then these are my sweet potatoes. Threw in some zinnias. But we'll see how the sweet potatoes do. I'm not sure how they'll do. And because I ran out of space, I did a no-no. I put my tomato, get rid of this little sucker. I put my tomato in with this bed. You're not supposed to, but I'm going to see what happens. Obviously, one second, a tomato will form. And look, it's the beginning of a zinnia. This is my determinate tomato bed. And as you can tell, it's getting some blooms too. Everything in this bed is determinate, meaning that it will grow to a certain point, bear its fruit, but it won't just keep growing. This is a Heat Master. I chose this because I'm in South Carolina and I need things that are going to hopefully survive. I try to do some companion planting. I have some parsley. I'm going to dry in my Excalibur dehydrator, and marigolds. I'm told that French marigolds are the ones that are most helpful as companion plants. And again, more and more blooms. Seriously, people, I'm loving how I use the bone meal, the blood meal, throw in some trifecta, and I get all these blooms. Then I have some basil. That's lemon basil. It's supposed to be a good companion plant, as well as things from the onion family, which I have bunching onions, which most people would call green onions or scallions. Palette garden number 2. I decided to throw in some random things to see how they do in a palette. Some are going to be arugula. I threw in some sunflowers at the end. And then this is my infamous lettuce palette from the first video. As you can tell, it's doing pretty darn good. I'm really loving this lettuce palette. I'll pick the leaves from the edge, and then it'll just keep growing and growing. Now, I did this one last year too. I put my mini melons, I don't know how to pronounce that, but it is a Baker Creek small melon, handheld. I put them in these big tubs next to my cattle panel, and they grow and grow and grow up. I also do that with zucchini, and I also plant for the squash vine borers. I do the icicle radishes just in case. This is the one part of the garden I haven't switched over yet. I decided to throw some beans down there. Those are pole beans, and they'll be supported by the cattle panel. And I'm still dealing with carrots that are waiting to grow. a few cabbage, and lo and behold, I still needed to find places for tomatoes, which seem to be doing quite nicely. Here are what I call my bean buckets. I planted a bunch, and frankly, I think I'm going to get rid of some, which kind of breaks my heart, but they're very crowded. I wasn't sure who would be blooming and germinating and who wouldn't. But I started training them to go up the trellis. So every day, I just put them somewhere. So this one I don't want to bunch up with the other. And then I just keep training it to go up, up, up. And here is my first pepper. There's a few little buddies over here and there. We've got some tomato blooms still. One little lone onion, bunching onion that I haven't picked yet, but I will be. And again, more blooms. The tomatoes along this edge are indeterminate so that they can climb up the trellis. The ones in the middle are determinate, which again means they will only grow so far. But I have stakes, furring strips, that make things very easy to deal with. That way I can just tie it up and it's not a problem. More carrots that I'm trying in a pot. I'm thinking I don't recommend this. My last little section is my indeterminate tomatoes. And hopefully they will grow sky high. But for now, we just have lots of blooms. This is my garlic. That will not be ready for a grand old time. You plant that in the fall. So garlic's a bit of a commitment. Then I added some more marigolds. And I'm still getting lots of blooms. And what's going on with all those blooms? I'm getting tomatoes. Yay! Those are super sweet 100s. Let me sneak in here. There we go. And those are the Isis candy. And of course I have my little, can't see it very well, but I've got my little onions to companion plant. My newest members are some little mini squash. And over here will be little mini pumpkin. It's just starting to come up. I can't find it. But last year, it made a beautiful arch on the trellis. I also have all of my beets. Beets are my nemesis. They generally hate me and only give me greens. But I am determined. Here is my spinach. I have Shelby spinach, Escalade spinach, the Bloomsdale spinach. I have all kinds. And then I have shallots. And they won't be ready for a while either. Now this little space got created by these cement blocks because I needed to get rid of some bees. And originally this was surrounded by wood. And it was rotting. That's what wood does. That's why I have so many of the metal garden beds. So when someone wanted the bees, I bartered. And I got all these blocks and a bunch of pallets. And then I just created this. And the wood is there. It will be a bench, but my little blocks aren't finished yet. They need filled. So they're sturdy. But right now, they're doing the job. Lastly, I have my peas. They're slowly getting there. I've picked a whole bunch of them, but I'm not quite there yet. But aren't the flowers just so pretty? I mean, seriously. They're so pretty. Plus, they give me these. And of course, we cannot forget the girls. They are all coming home. They were all out flying around getting pollen and nectar, and now they're returning. And then they'll start up all day tomorrow. They are wonderful. I love my girls. This is one of my favorite things to see. All this potential. Blueberries coming in everywhere. And you know, of course, I'll take pictures. So this little guy is giving me hope and excitement for many things to come. My favorite, my hydrangea. I took a picture of the inside on how it starts to grow. I just think that's so interesting. But soon I will have my blooms and my berries and more blooms. But thank you for joining my garden tour. It all started from nothing, and now it's become this, and growing and growing. I just have to do it in my own way, at my own pace, in my own time. Happy gardening.